I like to tell, the press doesn't like to talk about what we accomplished in 98 because they're in bed with the two parties pretty much.
Yeah.
But people need to realize the magnitude of what we did in that election. I hope people realize I only raised $300,000 to become governor.
Wow.
Really?
Where today, my opponents and their parties spent $12 million.
Wow,
and
that
the
is
other thing,
unbelievable.
when I ran for governor, we only had one person on my entire election people who was paid.
Wow.
And that
That's
person,
interesting.
the late Doug Friedline, we paid him from the primary to the general election only because he had quit his regular job and he was devoting full time to managing my campaign.
I don't think people understand how much of an American hero that makes you. Because
Well, I don't know if it makes me a hero, but what it does for me is it restores somewhat a vague sliver of the American dream to me that it can still happen.
Yeah.
That you don't have to be part of this system. You don't have to sell your soul to rock and roll, for a lack of better term, to become a Democrat or Republican, to try to lead this nation and do things for it. And that's why the media doesn't talk. That election of 98 was monumental, and people don't realize it because the media just poo-pooed it and sent it away and made it seem like, well, this will never happen again. It shouldn't have happened the first time, and it won't ever happen again because we won't give it the light of day again.
Well, it's because they didn't know. I mean, how many times do politicians today vote for something that they don't believe in because they have to because of their party?
Exactly. That's what you have today.
Yeah.
And Adams and Jefferson warned us of this. They said the downfall of this country would not come from an outside force. It would come from within, and it would come when political parties took control of our government.
Right.
And that's what they've done today. Case in point, the easiest one to show is that if you looked at, President Bush did a bailout right before he got out of office, correct?
Yep.
Right.
And all the Republicans basically voted for it.
Right.
Well, the minute Barack Obama comes in, he does the same bailout. Now all the Republicans vote against it, basically.
Right. And they act as if, how could you do this?
yeah.
How could this be done?
And they go, how could you do this when they just did it 3 months earlier?
So how does
And it's all based upon. Do you remember Michael Moore's movie Fahrenheit?
Yes.
Okay, to me, the scariest part of that movie wasn't even when George Bush was sitting in the classroom doing nothing for 7 minutes. The scariest part of that movie was when he went to John Conyers, the representative, the black man from Michigan.
Yeah.
And he asked him, Congressman Conyers, with your voting record, how could you have possibly voted for the Patriot Act? And remember, Conyers grabs him by the elbow and says, sit down here, young man. There's something you need to know. We don't read any bill we vote on.